Chapter 6. The Break-In. Benny. Okay, Benny. You're gonna be on your own. You got this? Will is kneeling in front of the little hacker, just inside the airlock of the Ghost. Yeah, I got this, Benny snaps. You guys do your thing. Remember to keep the channel open so that I can reach you. Also, you know I'm probably older than you. What's with the kneeling down like I'm a kid? The three walk out of the airlock. Will glances back over his shoulder. We'll be waiting for your signal. Then the lift door closes. Benny looks around the docking area. Time to get to work, he mutters to himself, and runs over to where the blueprints indicate the primary data access junction is located. Except there's nothing there. Oh, Grolak! He looks around frantically. The docking area isn't especially large, just a circular room with a lift and 4 identical docking collar hatches. 3 have a red light over them, while the one attached to the Ghost has a green light. Okay, Benari. Calm down. Think this through. You know there was a primary data access junction in this area. Even if that got rid of the access panel, those data conduits are still here. They have to be. So where are they? He looks around, but the wall where the panel should be is perfectly smooth. Whatever modifications they'd made included a complete replacement of the bulkhead, not just welding the panel shut. His eyes slowly roam around the room. The floor! Benny goes back to where the panel should have been and examines the floor. It's a mix of solid metal plates and grates. Grates! Sure enough, about a meter from the bulkhead, it's a metal grate. And beneath it, data conduits. He drops to his knees and grabs at the grate, attempting to lift it. It's heavy. Well, it's not so much heavy as Benny isn't strong. Grunting and straining, he moves the grate inch by inch until it's moved enough for him to reach into the opening. He grabs his gear and starts getting set up. He's glad that when he fled his workshop on Fury, he'd taken his portable deck since the equipment on the Ghost is woefully inadequate for this task, and not at all portable. Reaching into the opening in the floor, he clips a few jack clamps to various conduits. Better safe than sorry. So he'll tap everything. The sound of the jack clamps burning through the conduit soon comes from the floor, followed by the faint smell of burnt plastic. Jack clamps are a hacker's dream. Each one, once connected, automatically begins burning through the conduit insulation and attaches a lead to the exposed data cable. The edges of the clamps then superheat and form an airtight seal so that the tap is completely secure. Okay, here we go. Benny connects the opposite ends of the jack clamps cables into the back of his portable deck, and lights come on around each port, indicating a stable connection. Excellent. Sitting cross-legged on the floor, the little hacker gets to work. The security systems in place around the station are numerous. Whoever designed this station did a great job of making sure the data core was well protected. The first hurdle will be getting past the firewalls around the main docking area. This was clearly something someone was worried about when they designed the system. Benny chuckles as he watches his firewall countermeasure routines dismantle and reassemble the firewall around the chamber, leaving a nice wide opening for him to get one level up into the main reception area, while outwardly still looking completely intact. This second tier, however, is much more involved. Not only is there a firewall protecting data access on that floor, there's one on each vault door, and another protecting the central guard station. From what Benny can see, the vault doors will be easier to deal with if he can take over the guard station. This might be harder than I expected. Hold on, guys, he says to himself, since he hasn't cracked the internal comm system yet. He frowns, concentrating on the guard station. Clearly, whoever built and designed this station was familiar with the most likely vectors of system attack. You're good, that's clear, but I'm better. The Brelak chuckles as the first level of the guard station computer defenses crumbles under the onslaught of various viruses that Benny is unleashing. The trick is not to simply brute force the attack, because then the system will realize that it's under attack and raise the alarm. While the viruses are cracking the defense system, Benny is busy attacking lower-level systems like communications to keep the guard kiosk systems from raising the alarm. So far, so good. Yes! The little hacker throws both arms in the air. You can't beat Benari! Oh, Dren! His hands fly back to the console. Okay, I see what you did. That's clever. A few tabs on the deck, and the guard station now belongs to Benny. His smile is huge and slightly evil-looking. Okay, got the guard kiosk, so where would you... there you are, internal comms. Okay, just need to find a channel that's unused. There we go. Some tapping and working menus on the deck. Okay, now, to be extra safe, ensure there's no buffer storage then. Right, here we go. Channel encrypted. He taps some more, then taps the comms button on his deck. Is this thing on? The break-in. Wil. The lift doors open into the main reception area. Wil and Maxim step out, the former pushing a heavy-looking crate on a grav sled. 2 well-armed and armored security guards are waiting for them. This way, the taller of the two says, pointing towards the center of the reception area, where 2 more guards are sitting at the central kiosk. If the reception area were a clock, the lift from the docking area would be the 6 o'clock position, and every hour would be a secure vault door. Stacked 2 high, 23 vaults for Zephyr to check. Wil and Maxim walk towards the center of the room, the first pair of guards falling in line behind them, not noticing a slight shimmer that slips out of the lift once everyone's back is turned. Hey there, guys, Wil exclaims when they get to the central guard station. How's it going? Quite some station you have here. Do you live here, or is there some kind of shuttle service or something? The guards look at each other and then back at Wil. One puts his hand out. Documents. Wil hands over a data chip with the forged and hopefully believable documents Zarix has provided. Luckily, as with all good lies, there was some truth. Zarix has a vault on this station and has the right to send anyone he likes to make a deposit and withdraw. The first guard looks up from the terminal in front of him. Your documents check out. You know what to do. Wil looks around. Actually, no. This is my first time doing this run. He looks at Maxim behind the crate. You know what to do? Maxim shakes his head. Mute. Can you imagine how boring this trip out here was? I mean, I don't mind talking to myself, but this place ain't close to anything. It was a long flight, and of course, since it's a secret and all, no other crew. Boring is too gentle a word, Wil says, shaking his head. You mind showing us the process? The guard grumbles and gets up from his seat. Come on. Wil goes to follow, and Maxim with the crate turns as well. 2 steps and the grav sled makes a weird and not at all good sounding noise, and drops 6 inches to the ground with a loud thud. What the hell? I thought you fixed it. Wil looks at Maxim, who shrugs and shakes his head. Wil punches him in the arm, then jumps back at the glare he receives. The guard is spun on his heels and is eyeing the 2 suspiciously. The other guard at the kiosk is also standing. I don't believe this, the nearest guard says to the other. How does this drin always happen to us, Jareth and Boxter, crow-lacking red, and we get these 2 idiots? He turns to Wil. No offense. None taken. Wil smiles and kneels to work on the grav sled. That said, this would go faster if you helped, or at least have tools. I could go get them from the ship, but I'd have to find them. The least angry guard grabs a small pack from the guard kiosk and walks around to help Wil and Maxim. From Wil's earpiece, this thing on? Wil barely manages not to jump out of his skin. He'd forgotten Benny was going to do that. Just then, there's a clang. Everyone stops moving. The guards all react like professionals, weapons up, visually scanning the room. The 2 from the elevator head for the stairwell that leads to the 2nd level. The break-in. Zephyr. As soon as Wil and Maxim have stepped out of the lift, Zephyr has darted out after them, sliding to the side of the room. Now she's standing in front of the first of the vaults, realizing the size of the task ahead of her. Luckily, she knows she can't be seen. Peacekeeper combat armor, even older models like the one Zephyr is wearing, are state-of-the-art, compared to what almost anyone else can get their hands on. Being designed and built in-house, the specs never leave the Peacekeeper control. In the field, damaged units internally self-destruct, destroying all internal components, rendering the suit a weighty piece of trash. How this suit and the one Maxim has survived that, Zephyr doesn't know. The internal systems are completely self-contained, and the suit and its occupant can survive just about any environment for several hours. Peacekeeper armor? regardless of class or mission parameter, is designed to hide the wearer's identity. Once a peacekeeper is in their armor, you can't tell gender or even height, as most armor is the same size, internally cushioning shorter operators. The prismatic adaptive camouflage allows a peacekeeper to walk right past security systems effectively. The lift arrives at the reception deck and the doors open. There are 2 guards right by the lift, one on each side of the door. "This way," one of them says to Wil and Maxim. They follow the guards towards the center of the room. Just as the lift doors close, Zephyr slips out. Since the identity of the vault owners isn't known to anyone on the station, there's no record of who owns which vault. Zephyr needs to identify the target vault with a small scanner that should, from what Zarx told Wil, identify some trace isotopes he slipped onto his competitor the last time they were in the same place. Apparently, shortly before, said competitor had headed for this station. That's a lot more ifs and shoulds than Zephyr is comfortable with. She slips out the lift to one side and heads for the first door. This is going to take some time, she realizes. Fortunately, she was able to confirm the isotope's presence in the lift, so that was good. So far, Zarx's intel is correct. Unfortunately, however, the isotope is too weak to leave a trail from the lift to the vault she's looking for. Likely, she'll only be able to find a small trace of it on the vault control pad. "Hey there, guys," Wil exclaims from across the room. Now the hard part. He and Maxim had to do as much as they can to slow things down, while Zephyr looks for the right vault and Benny takes control of the station's systems. She moves to another vault door. Nothing on the scanner. Dren. The scanner can't pick up the isotope unless it's within a limited range, which means she has to stand in front of each door while the scanner works. She's almost done with the first floor when she hears a loud thud and sees the grav sled and crate crash to the ground. She watches Wil and Maxim flail about and lure all 4 guards in closer. So far, so good. Time to head upstairs. She's about halfway up the steps when, without warning, she hears, "This thing on?" Despite years of peacekeeper training, she's startled, and her foot catches the stair, making a clanging sound as she catches her grip. She freezes. The break-in. Wil. Wil and Maxim exchange glances when the guard helping them turns away. Y'all got space rats or something?" Wil asks. "What the Grolak is a space rat?" the helpful guard asks. "You know, small, furry tail, beady eyes, lives in space, space rat." Wil is holding his hands about 6 inches apart. "Sneak aboard ships, eat wires, shit everywhere." "Be quiet," the angry guard snaps. He and the helpful one have spread out around the lower level. Wil and Maxim trade glances again. The guards are moving fast. The first 2 are already at the stairwell now, heading up. The other 2 are doing a circuit around the outer level of the reception area and first level of the vault doors. They stop near each door, probably interfacing with the door mechanism, so they can see if any of the doors are reporting an error or alert. Using the sub-vocalization capabilities of the comms gear, he whispers, "It's on, Benny. But I think you startled Zephyr. Gods knows you scared me." Guards are doing a circuit around the place. Hold tight. "Oops, sorry about that. I guess I should have had the comms do a tone to let you know that it was online. Next time," Benny replies. "So, I'm almost through most of the firewalls. I've got control of the guard kiosk and all its systems. I'm trying to figure out how to open the vault doors for when Zephyr finds the right one. How long can you stall?" What? Not long. They're already getting pretty pissy. As soon as they're done making sure there's nothing going, which I hope happens soon, they'll be pushing to get this grav sled fixed and get us moving." Just then, Zephyr chimes in. "Sorry about the noise. Benny isn't the voice that should suddenly pop into your thoughts. I'm on the 2nd level. I was able to get the rest of the way up the steps before the guards came up here. It looks like they're almost done. I'm starting my sweep now." On the 2nd level walkway, Wil can see the 2 guards nearing the stairwell from the opposite sides. "Okay, go as quick as you can. I don't think we're going to have long. The vault we need being upstairs is going to be a problem. How quietly can you move when you're moving fast?" A faint beep comes from over the line. "Not that one. Still looking. I guess we'll find out soon on the fast and quiet thing. The guards that stayed on the same level are back. Hey, you get that thing working yet? Will bangs around for a few minutes, grunting occasionally. He holds a hand up, one finger extended in the universal "one more minute" gesture. After another few bangs, he closes the hatch on the grav sled and looks up. No idea if it's the angry guard or Helpful who's waiting for an answer. Yeah, I think so. What was it, space rats? No answer. And with the face masks being jet black, no indication the guard even registered the question beyond a slight tilting of his head. Will hands Maxim the tools and presses a button on the control panel. The sled beeps a few times, then slowly lifts. Since the grav sled was never actually broken, just cleverly modified to fail on command, fixing it was easy. Voila, Will says. Too easy, suckers, Will thinks. What? That must be the Helpful guard. Maxim reassembles the toolkit and hands it back to the Helpful guard. Angry guard points to Will. Make your deposit and get out. So rude. Will makes a show of pulling out a pad and thumbing through it, looking for the door he's promised to go to. He looks up, then right and left, and then he heads towards the door that belongs to Zarix. Maxim following, pushing the sled ahead of him. Benny, Zephyr, he hisses into the comm unit. Time's just about up. Status. Nothing. Anyone? Then over his comms comes Zephyr. Yes, found it. The break-in. Zephyr. Zephyr hears Will trying to defuse the situation, something about space rats, whatever they are. As the guards approach the staircase, he knows there's no way they'll pass her on the stairs without noticing. One of them will bump or brush against her, or pick up the telltale shimmer from the cloaking system. It's good, but not that good up close, especially at only a few inches away. She has to move. Where, though? The guards are at the bottom of the stairs now. Zephyr is only 5 steps above them. Carefully, she times her steps with theirs, to mask the sound. She assumes that they'll split up when they hit the top of the stairs, which leaves only one place to go. As soon as she reaches the top of the stairs, she leaps over the edge of the walkway, relying on her years of training. She grabs the railing with one hand to control her trajectory and slow her fall. She pivots and catches herself with her other hand. Thankfully, the armor enhances her strength. As she hovers 90 degrees out from the railway, quickly she instructs the armor to go rigid, letting her relax her arms. The 2 guards hit the top of the stairs, confer briefly, then split up, and start slowly moving from vault door to vault door. Zephyr waits until both guards are 3 doors away, before she hauls herself back up and over the railing as quiet as possible. She heads for the nearest vault door, speaking quietly into the comms unit. Sorry for the noise. She turns to the door nearest the top of the stairs. Nothing. Then she moves to the next. The guards are both almost opposite her. They're not on the alert for anything other than generally looking for things out of place, which mostly means just glancing at the control panel for each vault door, confirming its display information, and then moving on. Over the comms, Will says, Okay, go as quick as you can. I don't think we're going to have long. The vault we need being upstairs is going to be a problem. How quickly can you move when you're moving fast? Another door, negative on the scanner. Zephyr hisses in frustration. Glancing down at the reception area, it looks like time's up. Will and Maxim are moving toward what she assumes is their door. Dren, she mutters. She can only move so fast without making any noise. Her armor can warp light, but doesn't muffle sound much. At least the guards that had been up on this level are back on the stairs now, heading back down together. She moves to another door, nothing. The next door, nothing. Will on comms. Benny, Zephyr, time's just about up. Status? Next door, nothing. She keeps moving, fearing the door she's looking at will be the last one she hits, knowing there's nothing she can do about it. Anything? Will's voice asks. She moves to the next door and the sensor makes a different noise. Yes, found it. The break-in. Benny. Benny hears Will ask the guards, y'all got space rats or something? And snickers to himself. Humans say such goofy things, Benny thinks. He wishes this place had cameras on the upper levels. He doesn't like not being able to see what's going on. How long can you stall? He asked, looking through the various directories in the guard kiosk. Whoever designed this place didn't trust their clientele, and didn't trust their hired goons either. The systems are heavily shielded, both externally as well as internally. Benny's respect for the architect of this station's security and the computer systems is growing by the moment, as is his determination to beat those same systems. While Will and Zephyr talk, Benny tunes them out and focuses. He's got to be ready when she finds the right vault. But these systems are so spread out and locked down, it's not as easy as he'd assumed. Muting his wrist comm, he mutters to himself, "This is promising. There's no direct per vault override, but, yeah, this is promising." Benny digs into the systems he's exploring, setting aside programs for later use, burying routines throughout the data core, and assigning hotkeys and macros. Crucial minutes pass, and he's still buried in the various systems, admiring the craftsmanship, taking note of clever bits of code, and well-crafted subroutines, dismantling things as politely as he can. Then he notices the comm light flashing. Oops! Quickly, he clicks it on. Anyone? It's Will, sounding panicked. Sorry, I'm here. I think I have found something that will work. Benny taps a few more commands into his deck, nods to himself. Yes, this will work. Say the word. Just then, Zephyr comes over the comms. Yes, found it.